Morning, Chris from Motolegends, twat in the cap. I'm here this morning to talk to you about what we consider to be far and away the best winter commuting suit. That suit is made by Rukka. It's called the Rukka Nivala. It's their top of the range suit. Now, even though it's their most expensive suit, we think that Rukka shot themselves in the foot when they made this suit to an extent, because it is so much nicer in terms of wearability and functionality than the suits that come below it in the range, that it's always worth paying that little bit more for the Nivala. So let's look at the suit. I'm going to talk you through all the features and benefits of that suit, and you can come to your own conclusion. So this is the Nivala suit. Going to talk initially about the jacket. Later on I'm going to talk to Billy. We're going to look at the pants and some other aspects of the suit and how it's worn and so on. Main thing you need to know is that the fabric that the jacket is made of is a Rukka 3-layer Pro shell. Now, I'm going to assume that most of our customers know what a laminated garment is, but in essence, it's where you take the outer fabric, you laminate or you bond a waterproof membrane to the inside of it. That means that water can't get in, so even after 5, 6, 7 hours of riding in the rain, the jacket is not going to wet out. Water can't get in past that laminated membrane, so you stay drier for longer. But more importantly, for some, especially if you're a commuter, it means that the suit is going to dry out very quickly. So if you've ridden in an hour into work in the pouring rain, the last thing you want to do is come home in the evening with a damp suit. With a laminated suit, that won't happen. This is the higher end of the laminated spectrum. What makes it particularly comfortable to wear, and this is the only suit on the market that has this has stretch built into the fabric. So as we'll see later, this is just the most comfortable laminated suit that you'll ever wear. Other features, up here you've got a storm collar. In the winter, what it does, it stops rain running down the helmet inside the jacket. It's also obviously a wind stopper to stop you getting cold, stopping the wind chill factor affecting you around the neck. In the summer, you just take it off. Here you've got extra layers of armor core, which is super abrasion resistant. This is a Cordura material. It's strong in its own right, but you've got extra reinforcements in certain areas. You've got adjusters here on the sleeves and at the waist, and what that's for is there's a thermal liner inside. When you take that out, in theory that's going to create a little bit of extra volume. You may then want to cinch the sleeves up. In terms of venting, I've got to say that that's not this suit's greatest strength. In fact, overall, I don't think it's Rukka's greatest strength. And it's why we think that this is a perfect suit for winter commuting. But if I was going traveling into Southern Europe, if I was doing a lot of hot weather work, this is not the suit I would choose. You've got these vents here. They're okay. They're not in the way of the screen, so they're going to let some air in, but these are not the largest vents I've ever come across. Rukka talk a lot about these side vents. You can't see them here. When we're with Belly, we'll look at them more carefully. They reckon a lot of air comes in these. And again, they work, but this just isn't in the same league as something like a Klim suit or even the Stadler Supervent 3. Other details, nice neoprene lining on the collar. Again, stops water coming down the helmet into the neck. You've got Rukka's GTX cuffs here. It's a great system. What it means is that when you wear a glove with a longer cuff, you put the cuff over this, then you put that over the cuff of the glove. And what it means is that water can't run down into the glove, nor can it come up the sleeve and into the hand. So that completely isolates the hand, makes it impossible for water to get in. These here, they're just pockets, they're not really vents. You've also got 2 zip pockets here. If we open up the jacket, one of the unique things about the Nivala is it's got a built-in D30 chest plate. Easily removable, but it's a nice thing to have. I have a feeling that a lot of our customers don't wear this on their daily rides, but if you're going a further distance, then that's maybe worth putting in. You've obviously got D30 armor in the shoulders and the elbows, but we have to admit one of the things that disappoints us about this suit, given the money, and this is the most expensive suit that you can buy, is that the back protector is a level 1 and not a level 2. And frankly, we think Rukka at this kind of price should be providing the very highest levels of protection. That really should come as standard with a level 2 protector. You can exchange it, you can upgrade for the level 2, but really you shouldn't have to. So let's go over and see Billy, who's got a suit on. We're going to sit on the bike, we're going to look at some of the other details of the suit. So when the Nivala was first launched, what surprised us all was that it didn't come either in the top half or the bottom half with a traditional zip-in thermal liner, which had been part of the way Rukka had done things for forever. Instead, it came with a separately worn, down-filled jacket and trouser. Have to admit that initially we thought this was just Rukka being mean, trying to save a couple of bucks on the manufacture of a suit, but actually it turns out it's the cleverest thing on this suit, and a number of other manufacturers who we've been talking to recently are copying that system. So the liners come in bags like this, so you can tuck this in the bag in the bike very easily. They squash up nice and tight. On a nice day, you just wouldn't wear either. On a cold day, you look out, the weather's cold, you're in for a long ride, you just take these out, you slip them on. There's no buttoning in, you don't have to match the red button and the black button like you always do on a Rukka jacket. There's no zipping in. It just couldn't be easier. They're also incredibly warm. I'm now going to get my colleague Billy. We're going to talk through some of the details. Billy?
I have to.
Yep. Billy, it's not even a very good score. Okay. So, Billy, can you put on the down liner, show us what it looks like? We've just found this to be incredibly warm. It is the warmest base or mid layer that you will find, with the exception maybe of electric. Now it looks as though it's pretty puffy and pretty big, but when it's worn, that goes down to air. This makes almost no difference on the size of the jacket. Billy, if you can put the jacket on. Because this has the stretch component within it, normally you're going to go down a size on whatever your normal size is. So when Billy wears, Billy's own suit is a Halvarsens Veen, he wears a 52 in that, but in this jacket, because of the stretch, because we want to activate that stretch, this is worn tighter, he wears a size 50. Billy is now fully zipped in, top to bottom. It's got an all the way around zip. That's important, obviously, for 3 reasons. 1, it prevents rain getting in. It's another barrier against rain on a really heavy, wet day. It keeps the cold out, so again, it stops drafts. But most importantly, if you go down the road, you want to be zipped in, because otherwise the jacket can ride up. You could end up with an exposed back. So zipping in for us is very important. Here on the jacket, I mentioned them earlier on, but you can see them here in action. These are the side vents that Rukka reckon give this jacket most of its venting. The air comes down here, goes into the jacket, passes around. There's no exhaust vent really, so again, I contend that this isn't a fantastically well vented jacket, but these zips can also be used if you're shorter in the body. They could be used to splay the jacket, to splay out over the legs, just to make it a little bit more comfortable so that it doesn't push up into the chin. In terms of the trousers, the construction of the trousers is pretty much the same as the jacket. It's a Cordura outer, you've got armour core panels here, you've got stretch in the fabric, so again, just as comfortable as the jacket. You've got Rukka's trademark anti-cushion and anti-glide systems in the seat to keep you positioned in the seat so you don't slip around. You've got leather panels down the inside of the legs to stop your legs burning if you've got an exhaust there. You've got vents here down each thigh. Of course, one of the points about venting on a laminated suit as opposed to a drop liner suit is that when you're not wearing the thermal in a down X lining with this, that's straight through to the body. So that's a pretty large zip. I think these trousers are going to be pretty cool. In terms of the armour, Billy, if you can stand up. Rukka take a slightly different view on armour to most people. Again, this is D30. They take a huge piece of armour, but it's a flat piece of armour, so it goes all the way from there down to there. I don't know any other brand that gives us armour that's that long. You can remove it here. There is actually a little bit of adjustability there. There's a second pocket. You can move it up a little bit or down a little bit. Not a great amount of adjustability because there's no Velcro there. But Rukka's armour is different in that it's not shaped around the knee. It has an area in which it bends a little bit, but basically this armour just bends where your knee bends. So it's never the most comfortable of armour, but it's never in the wrong place. So Billy, if you bend, that just bends there. So that's all the coverage that you're going to need. Importantly, and it's what you'd expect of a high-end suit, The trousers come in a short, a regular and a long length. And what we're always trying to do is have a trouser length that is long enough to give you lots of cover over the end of the boot, because we're trying to stop rain hitting the ground, coming up over the top of the boot. So we don't want the trouser leg up here. We don't want it to be too long, because then when you get off the bike, everything drops a wee bit. That will be running along the floor. So what we look for in a trouser length is on the bike that it ends about the middle of the ankle bone. So that would be the perfect length for Billy. In terms of the sizing, these come in sizes from 46 right up to 66. Given the stretch, I think you could push that to a 68. Same with the jacket. It doesn't come in different sizes. It doesn't come in different lengths, as it were, but again, 46 to 66. So it's a pretty huge range. Billy, have I missed any points out? I didn't mention before that the trousers come with braces, which are useful. When you're zipping in, when you've zipped in the jacket to the trousers, you don't really need the braces, because the trousers are being suspended on the shoulders of the jacket. But of course, when you take the jacket off, then suddenly you've got a trouser that is not suspended. So the braces are useful. What we don't want really on a suit like this is to wear the trousers too tight. We want to wear a waist that's a little bit loose, so that when you sit on the bike, it doesn't become uncomfortable. So the braces are, even when you're zipped in, I find them useful. You've got adjusters here just to smarten it up. I think that's kind of about it. Jacket comes in 3 different colorways. These reflective stripes here, you can get them in orange, you can get them in black on black. So even the black one is black reflective, or we have the black silver. This black silver is exclusive to Motolegends. So that's it. That's the Nivala suit. It is the most fantastic winter commuting suit. In the summer, it's not so great. What a number of our customers do, if they're riding through the summer and riding into the centre of London and the temperatures are up in the upper 20s or even the 30s, they will lose the jacket and they will put on something like Rukka's Forsair Pro. Let's just have a look at that. So this is the Forsair Pro, obviously another Rukka item. It's the complete opposite of the Nivala. This jacket flows air like no other jacket. Most mesh jackets, to tell the truth, are pretty flimsy, feeble affairs, great for going up the hill, but in an accident situation, they're just not strong enough. This, by contrast, is made from a cordura. It's a full cordura, but it is knitted rather than woven. So that allows it to flow twice as much air as a normal woven cordura. What's particularly interesting about it is that every single panel here flows air. So unlike a mesh jacket, which has a panel in the middle, which flows the air, everywhere here flows the air, with the exception perhaps of the shoulders and the elbows, where there are extra layers of protective material. So a lot of our customers who are commuting from here, say into the centre of London, throughout the year will have the Nivala for the winter. They'll have one of these, it tucks up nice and small, one of these on the bike on a really hot day. They will wear this instead. It gives you, if you've got these 3 pieces together, the trousers, the Nivala jacket and the Forsair, it gives you the ability to ride in all weathers. The only other thing that you might add to this, and we would use the one from Scott, is of course it can rain even in the summer. So if you had the Scott over waterproof, then you can bung that on top of that if it does rain, because that is not waterproof at all. So I hope you've enjoyed our brief walk through what we consider to be the world's best winter commuting suit. At this end of the market, there are a couple of other suits that you might look at if you're going to be spending this kind of money. So I think first amongst those might be the Stadler Supervent 3. The Stadler is better in some respects, not as good in others. It's got better armour. Its armour exceeds level 2 by 60%. The back protector is huge in comparison with the rather flimsy level 1 in the Nivala. Get much better venting in the Stadler, but it has to be said that in terms of comfort and wearability, the Nivala's in a different league. And comfort's important on the bike. If you're going to be in the saddle for hours every day, you want a suit that you're going to feel comfortable in. And almost everyone feels comfortable in the Nivala. The other suit that you can look at is the Klim Kodiak. Great suit, lots of protection. You've got D3O armour throughout. You've got leather panels on the shoulders and the elbows. You've got superb venting that puts even the Stadler to shame. So that's at the other end of the spectrum. The Klim is a massively vented suit. The Stadler sits in the middle, lots of protection, reasonable venting, but if you're someone who gets cold a lot, then I think the Nivala's the suit probably for that for you. If you want to read more details, visit the website motolegends.com. If you would like to subscribe to our videos, that would be much appreciated. We're going to be producing videos at a furious rate from here on in. Lots of new gears turning up over the coming weeks. So we're going to be banging these out 2 or 3 a week. If you click on the button below and subscribe, you'll see more of this rubbish in the future. Thanks a lot. I'll see you soon.